Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. Still dealing with this, this cold or whatever. So kind of bear with me. You know what I'm saying? Still got to. The spirit jumped on me to go into this particular lesson right here. This video I'm about to play is this is why the Christian church is a joke. It ain't nothing but a money shakedown, so-called money shakedown, and that's why people don't know anything because that's these leaders. These leaders have led them astray because they have sold out, to this system for money. You know what I'm saying? That's why if you go get your so-called Christian church, first off, you can't teach the truth. You can't. 501c3 charter. You cannot teach certain things. And what they actually teach, our people is plantation Christianity. That's why nothing never changes. It's the same format. That's why you're seeing this great awakening because you got some of our people are tired of this. They tired of the same old, same old, same old. And for you to wake up, you gotta know something is wrong. You gotta be sick and tired of being sick and tired of the lies. So I'm gonna play this video, but to just expose more of the Christian church, the so-called pastors. They did this back then, they doing it again today. So when our people was wilding at worshiping idols, they came in this likeness that you see right here. So they was under the authority of a so-called pastor. Our people was doing all this wickedness um, back in the, if you want to say the Bible days, the biblical days, Salakia. But they doing the Lord is putting on the show. That's why all this stuff is being televised. So I'm gonna get into this um, video real quick. Then I'm gonna get into this lesson. It's not gonna be too long.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfected church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying.
That's only $1,200. I can't put no retractable moon roof.
Yeah, so I think he wanted $2,000, and this not our first time seeing it. If you've been around the block, this is a normal thing in a Christian church that they do shakedowns, and it's to fund their life so they can keep living a good life while they flock, suffer, barely can pay their bills. Some people actually get their utilities cut off to give the money to the so-called church. Think about that for a minute. You got to be a low down, dirty, MF, right? But these so-called pastors has been glorified, in this society. And our people are gullible, very gullible people. And I've never saw anything like this. They'll follow anything besides the truth, but they're gonna always go back into what they're familiar with. So this Christianity is a real demon and a stronghold on our people. So even when they start to wake up out of Christianity, they still revert back into Christianity. So you see this, man, this madness. I think this guy is, one of the whinings or something like that. I don't know. Give me 1 second. And the Lord gonna get all you so-called pastors. They're gonna be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah, and when you go to the word pastor, it goes back into shepherd. So they have led our people astray. They've made them so the carnality on our people. They supposed to be spiritual people, but their carnality is just it's too much. Jeremiah, that's why I say sow the seed, right? Because they're looking for a lottery ticket on his side because they're trying to get around Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. They don't want to repent. They don't want to know the truth. So we see our people that go to the Christian churches, they don't want to change. Jeremiah 23:1. It says woe. When you go to this word woe, it's pretty much like destruction. Matter of fact, 1 second. What does the word woe mean? It says woe. It says misery, sorrow, distress, despair, disaster. So disaster be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. So this is a metaphor thing being said here that, our people don't know anything. They don't know the truth. All they know is lies, and they have not been taught correctly. And you so-called pastors got a lot of blood on your hands. It said Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Let's keep going. It says Jeremiah 23:2. It says, therefore thus said Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, the God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. You have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, said Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. So what you saw in that video was evil. It was a shakedown. They taking advantage of our people because they don't know what's going on. They lost. They vulnerable, right? Let's go here. Let's go to the next verse. Salakia. Let's go here because I think you get the point. It says filthy lucre. That's how you get the word lucrative, from lucre. It says filthy lucre in the King James Version Bible refers to dishonest or ill-gotten gain, often used to describe the improper motives of some religious leaders. There'll be these so-called modern-day pastors that's really not pastors of the Lord. They are motivational speakers disguised as so-called pastors. These are wolf in sheep clothing because they know our people are gullible. It can be easily taken advantage of. It says the phrase appears in several New Testament verses, such as Titus 1:11 and 1 Timothy 3:3, warning against being greedy of filthy lucre. So these are filthy dogs, filthy pigs. It says the word lucre comes from the Latin for profit. So yeah, they are so-called pastors for hire, right? For profit. That's why their congregation live, in poverty while they live a luxury lifestyle. And they teach them nothing but lies. But our people so simple, they don't even know better. That's why they have to be led correctly. It says the word lucre comes from the Latin for profit, while filthy was added to emphasize that the gain was sordid or unclean. Sordid or unclean. Let's go here. But our people are spiritually dead. They don't know what's going on. That's why they can be taken advantage of like this. And it's sad to see, but it is what it is. A lot of them don't want to change. You know what I'm saying? These are the same spirits from the ancient of days that's coming back in their own lot, being rebellious. They don't want to know the truth. So Proverbs 1:22, it says, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? So being in a simple state of mind, being simple-minded. And the scorners delight in their scorning. It says, and fools hate knowledge. So a fool will shun knowledge. And it's just what it is. You got a population full of fools. But even the Lord be like, how long y'all gonna be in this state of mind? But we know 2/3 ain't gonna get it. So this only for the elect to see these things so they can wake up. They can see that this is all out of pocket and they can come out there folly, simple minded. Let's go to this definition. Simple minded. It says a simple minded person does not have the ability to use reason or understand, right? So they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on because the Israelites is gullible right now. When you don't have the spirit of the Lord on you, that means you're going to be guided by your own way. And that's the path of destruction. It says spiritual blindness is the inability or unwillingness to perceive and understand spiritual truth. So that's another thing going back into Hosea 4:6. What makes our people so destroyed for lack of knowledge because they reject it. So all these people in that church, I'm pretty sure at some point in time they've been told they the Israelites and what the Lord will cry. Some of them been told this, but they didn't say, "Nah, I'm gonna keep serving my white Jesus." So the hell with them, you know. It says again, spiritual blindness is the inability or unwillingness to perceive and understand spiritual truth. So some of the people in this so-called church, you know, they've been told they're Israelites, and they've been told what the Lord require from them, and they ain't gonna do it because they did the same thing back in the ancient days. If you got your spiritual eyes open to see that, right? It says often caused by being overly focused on worldly desires. There you go. That's why they use that gimmick to sow your seed because that's something of carnality, right? That's not nothing spiritual. So they trick our people to give them money and they think it's going to come back tenfold. And Jake might actually get a raise on the job or something like that, but Jake's so simple, they'll equate that to them putting money in tithing and offering. They don't understand that time and chance happen to our men. Because the only way our people in their dysfunctional mind, the only way that they know how to deal with, as they call God, is by financial means. That's it. So that's how they know, in their mind, that's how they reason with the Lord. And that's straight folly. It says, often caused by being overly focused on worldly desires, pride, or a lack of discernment. And our people have no spiritual discernment right now. They can't even tell that this is out of pocket. They can't even tell they've been taken advantage of. They can't perceive it. They can't understand it. This is how it is when you're spiritually dead. You like a zombie. You just going along with the flow, right? It's that same destruction of the Christian church. So our people destroyed for lack of knowledge. I want to go into this word destroyed. It says right here, it says ruin someone emotionally or spiritually. So our people are spiritually dead, even when they think they're on a level and they think they know something. You know, they into a lot of myths. They believe in a lot of things that's not true because it's how they've been taught. And not only that, that they are stubborn in those lies. When they are told about this, they double down on it. They don't care what we say. They don't care that this is the truth. They don't like the way it sounds. It's not appeasing to their appetite. So what they're gonna do is scoff. So, like I said, I didn't want to make this too long. I'm still trying to recover. All right, hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Rachak Kodash. Shalom.